All right, shalawam. First off, I want to say all praises to Yahawah, bahasham Yahawashi, bahasham Kudash. Double honors to our apostles and elders of GMS, and to the elect doing the work in sincerity and in truth. Shalawam. As GMS precepts, there's our chad here, and I got a few articles here. Once again, this is from the Guardian, right? And you have uproars, you have uproars of the people here, right? You have people in Kenya. They're fighting. Um, they're coming against their government, right? For raised taxes, right? It says Kenyan police open fire on protesters as crowd tries to storm parliament. That sounds like sedition among men to me, right? By definition, sedition is a people uh, coming against their government, right? It says at least 5 people reportedly shot dead at rally against legislation to raise taxes. Excuse me, during cost of living crisis, right? Right. So this looks like uproars of the people. This looks like sedition among men, And then I tried to use this website that I usually go to, Global Protest Tracker. Um, but for some reason it's not really loading up. Because I wanted to check the numbers on this. It was a site that I usually use to track protests, right? Because that's prophecy, right? Tracking, because this isn't only going on in Kenya, right? This is going on uh, all over the world. It's just that when you turn the news on, you don't hear the news. You don't hear it in the news, right? But things like this are going on everywhere, right? There are protests, there's sedition among men, there's sedition from the people towards their government happening not only in Kenya but throughout the whole world. But you just don't hear it being reported. As I go back to this site, and this looks like it's not really working, right? Right. So that's that. And I got another article here. This is Russia, right? Russia's in the news once again, and it says here. This is from MSNBC. What is this? No, I'm sorry. This is NBC. It says Russia blames U.S. for barbaric Ukrainian attack on Crimea. Summons ambassador. The Kremlin vowed retaliation Monday after the deadly strike on the Russian-occupied peninsula. Right. So now Russia has beef with U.S. or even more beef. Right. Is it this article? Right. So they're basically blaming the U.S. for the attack that happened on Monday. The Kremlin on Monday, this is from The Guardian. I'll leave all these in the description. It's saying the Kremlin on Monday blamed Washington for an attack on Crimea with U.S. supplied ac- ATACMS missiles that killed at least 4 people and injured 151. I'm sorry, and injured 151 a day earlier, and formally warned the U.S. ambassador that retaliation will follow. You see? So they're pretty pissed off with. It was a quote. Here it is. This is a quote. It says Moscow says U.S. has become a party to the conflict. You see? It says they've become a party to the conflict after attack on the occupied Crimea, in which at least 4 people died and injured at least 151 a day earlier, right? So, this is what you call a proxy war. You see? I got the definition. Here it is. Proxy war, a war instigated by a major power which does not itself become involved, right? Which one? What is I think this was it. What is a proxy war in symbols? A proxy war or proxy warfare is a war in which opposite sides use third parties as substitutes for fighting each other directly, right? But now it's one thing to use another nation, right? Use another country, which the U.S. is using Ukraine. They're really really close allies, right? But it's one thing to tell that smaller country, yo, do this, do that against Russia. But it's another thing to using weapons is being more directly involved, and that's what the Kremlin, that's what Russia is accusing the U.S. Right? This is another article. Kremlin warns U.S. after Ukrainian strike on Crimea. Crimea spokesman Dmitry Peskov called Sunday strike on Sevastopol barbaric and accused Washington of killing Russian children. The Kremlin on Monday warned the United States of consequences, right? So they're gonna, you see, they got a lot of beef with a lot of nations around the world. This is another war and rumor of war, right? It says, warning the United States of consequences, and summoned its ambassador after Moscow said a Ukrainian strike with a U.S. missile on Crimea killed 4 people or 4 persons. All right. In response, Major Pentagon said Ukraine makes its own targeting decision and conducts its own military operations. Right. So, this is escalating. Right. This isn't gonna, and they know that this is going to lead to a bigger war, because what happened, I believe it was last week. They signed into law a draft. Right. So if you're between the ages of 18 and 26, even if you're a woman and World War III pops off, you are going to be drafted. Now, why did they write that into law a week ago? Because they know this situation with Russia is just going to continue to escalate, man, and it's going to lead to World War III. Something we spoke about, or the scriptures spoke about for a long time, that nobody believed. You see, they just called us fear mongers. But pretty much we're just telling you what's in the scriptures. World War III is in the cards of the Most High, right? It's something that the Most High wants to happen. I got a scripture, Mark 13. Always go to Matthew. Figured I'd go to Mark this time. This is I'll start from 3. Mark 3 and 13 and 3. It says, and as he sat upon the Mount of Olives over against the temple, Peter and James and John and Andrew asked him privately, that him being Yahawashi, tell us when shall these things be, and what shall be the sign? And what shall be the sign when all these things shall be fulfilled? And Yahawashi answering them began to say, take heed lest any man deceive you. For many shall come in my name, saying, I am Yahawashi. Excuse me. And shall deceive many. And when ye shall hear of wars and rumors of wars, be ye not troubled, for such things must needs be, but the end shall not be. But the end shall not be yet. Right. And this is what we hear right now. But the scripture said, take heed. The end is not yet. Right. So it's close though. It's very, very close, because we know the other major prophecy that has to be take place is the implementation, or the forced implementation of the CHIP, which is right around the corner. Right, that technology is advancing every day as we speak. Right. Russia blames U.S. for barbaric Ukrainian, right? So this situation, it seems like the last few videos I'm doing is about Russia and this whole situation, but hey, prophecy's prophecy, man, right? So this is this situation is something to watch out for. This situation is a situation to look out for, because it's not gonna quail, it's not gonna quiet down. It's just gonna begin continue to increase until it leads to a third world war. Alright, so that's pretty much it. Lord willing, your brothers and sisters were edified. Until the next show, shalawam.